Welcome back. Today we're going to look at some wild clips that's going to make you question everything.
Have you heard of the Chick-fil-A theory?
No.
Have you ever had like your Chick-fil-A sandwich and it's like really soggy?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Like you open it up and you can see like the moisture in the bag.
I feel like every time I go to Chick-fil-A, it's like that.
If I told you
Overrated.
there's a way you could prevent that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it happens to me a lot too. Until I found out this hack, okay? So basically what you do is you order the #1 Chick-fil-A sandwich with no pickles. Every day, they pre-cook all the sandwiches, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they know that everyone's going to order the #1. So they have them already
Pretty
bagged
smart.
with pickles in the bags, right? On the heater.
Oh.
So that the line can keep moving faster, right?
Uh-huh.
When someone orders it without the pickles, they have to make a fresh new sandwich and package it right there in the drive-thru.
Are you serious?
But you have a fresh
I'm going
sandwich
to try this.
that's not soggy.
That's the best food hack I've ever heard.
Do you ever wonder what foods kill you faster?
That's honestly one of my biggest fears.
Alright, luckily for you, I got Gordon Ramsay's son here to confirm this. Alright, come on, Nick.
So it's been proven by the University of Washington that every hot dog you eat takes off 36 minutes. Of your life. So that
Damn.
means 2 hot dogs takes over an hour of your life.
Holy.
I've eaten so many hot dogs in my life.
Well, luckily they also found that eating a PB&J adds 33 minutes to your life.
Wow.
And baked salmon and rice and beans can add 10 to 15 minutes to your life.
Now all everyone's gonna eat is PB&J sandwiches and salmon all day.
Yo, if making a peanut butter jelly sandwich really gives you 33 extra minutes, I'm about to whip one up right now. 33 minutes.
Has been in my freezer for 37 years. And I was always told it was like a wedding cake top.
Adam
Wedding
Smith
cake?
had been living in this apartment, taking care of his mother who passed away from cancer just days ago. He showed us a photograph of a wrap box that was in his freezer. He said his mother kept it inside their freezer for decades and told him to stay away from it. He opened it after she passed away.
There was a pink blanket, baby blanket. And when I reached down and
Ew.
touched it, and I could feel a foot. And I could see the baby's head with hair. Hair was still attached.
Damn.
He's distraught thinking about the possibility that that child may have been his sister and what his
That
mother
is
may
crazy.
have done. Preliminary testing led investigators to believe the child was wearing clothes made in the mid to late 1960s and that he was younger than 1 year old when he died. The baby was never legally named, police say.
Yo, I couldn't help notice that chicken pot pie in that corner.
Sound and vibration healing, ancient Egypt and also Tibet. Tibetan singing bowls and ancient Egyptian sound chambers were used to heal the body, the mind through sound frequencies and vibrations.
It's so funny because all this stuff is really what we do now.
Yeah, I know.
Everything is the same.
The sound beds,
Yeah.
you know.
Sound beds. There's the thing called the Woozer band and Woozer vest, and you put it on, and it's a vest that vibrates, and you listen to sounds, and while it's vibrating on you, and it almost puts your body into like a different type of state, a meditative state. That also reminds me of Brain Tap. Shout out to Dr. Patrick Porter. Brain Tap uses sound, frequency,
What
and
the
vibration
hell?
to rewire.
Why would I need to do that?
basically.
Yo, I'm definitely good off that brain tap machine. I don't need to rewire my brain.
Every one of you who has a phone in their hand should have a deep think about why they don't have removable batteries anymore. They tell us it's for better water resistance or to make your phone slimmer, but do you really believe that? Back then, you could just pop that sucker out, slap in your backup battery, and boom, you were back at 100. No power banks and no waiting around. They've made sure you can't ever do that again. Others say it's all about money, right? Because they want us to buy a new phone. But think about it, wouldn't they make more money selling backup batteries?
I would rather it be like
The
that.
truth? The battery was the only thing you could control. Once you take away your ability to remove the battery, you can never really turn your phone off. Even if you hit that power button,
Damn.
it's still listening. How else do you think your phone switched itself on for the alarm? They needed a way to make sure we couldn't just cut the power. You pop that battery out, boom, no more tracking. So what do? They take away the option. And airplane mode, yeah, that's a joke. That's like trusting
That is messed up.
incognito mode to keep you safe from the CIA. And here's the kicker. This was always the plan from the start. Once they figured out
Yo.
they went all in on non-removable batteries. It's the perfect system. And here's where it gets really freaky. Every phone company, and I mean every single one, made this change at the same time without exception. Think about that for a second.
Oh,
Not a single
wow.
mainstream phone manufacturer lets you just pop out the battery anymore.
That's true.
None of them.
I really
It's
wish
like
I
they
could
all got the same
do
memo
that.
at the same time. And the craziest part, nobody questioned it. We just accepted it.
I question it immediately.
We went along with the idea that it's just the next step in technology. Phones are getting better. Now, I'm not saying toss your phone out, but next time you stare deep into that camera lens, ask yourself, who's really on the other end? I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
You guys remember those phones? Like the old Nokia one? I had the one with the little flashlight on it. Just to have that, I thought was crazy.
The question here goes, do you think we're now in a different universe? Or am I just crazy? You're not crazy. No way. I think about this all the time. Let me just tell you my personal story on this. So in the past 6+ years or so, things in the world I live in have drastically changed.
Yep.
It used to be a place that was pretty peaceful. There was violent crime, don't get me wrong, there was. But people didn't have this animosity and almost hatred towards each other that I see every day now. Where even the slightest disagreement, whether it's politics, religion, movies, a TV show, the slightest disagreement can make you no longer talk to somebody. In fact, make you almost hate somebody.
That's like me.
The world I lived in before this wasn't like that at all. People got along. There wasn't this overriding tension, animosity, and anger that there absolutely is today. That's why I think about this a lot. Did I switch from one Earth to another? Did I go to a parallel universe? There's a lot of people I've talked to in the past few years who feel the same way about me on this. Some of them think CERN, with their Large Hadron Collider, and their experiments might have had something to do with it. Now, I don't know if that part is true. I obviously have no evidence to say it is, and I also don't have any evidence to say it isn't true. But something happened, and the world I lived in drastically changed with an underlying current for the worse at least 6 years ago, if not more. Tell me how you feel about this, Booshkis. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I do.
Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo!
What do you guys think? You think we shift into a different sort of timeline? Let me know in the comments.
Call me a conspiracy theorist. This sure looks like the Freemasonic sign of distress. He was sure throwing that up quite a bit. Now, this would not be his first time presenting some type of occult symbolism. And he's proud
Something's
to call
definitely
himself
up with Elon.
Dark MAGA. You know, the Dark Witch or the Dark Sorcerer. And I guess it's just a coincidence that the highest level in the Church of Satan is MAGA. So, you know, Dark MAGA. The same guy who talks about AI summoning demons.
With artificial intelligence, we're summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's a guy with a pentagram and holy water, and he's like, yeah, sure, you can control the demon. Doesn't work out.
Now, something else I found interesting is how he's wearing a shirt that says Occupy Mars. And if you did not know, Mars is named after the Roman god of war. And I wonder if it's just a coincidence how it was uttered over and over and over again at this rally to fight, fight, fight.
Fight, fight, fight.
And the reason why they say this sometimes is because there is power in the number 3, and it is a technique, the phrase. The third time is the charm. Now look, you can believe whatever you want. I am just pointing out some things that stuck out to me that I do not trust. Okay, I do not trust him any further than I could.
Yeah, there is something with him.
There is symbolism everywhere, and that they want a form of civil war. No doubt, they want division because it is the divide and conquer. This is the whole purpose of the left-right paradigm. It is to control you through division. And I do not believe it is a coincidence that he is calling himself Dark MAGA. Now, to the exoteric, to the general...
Like, why would you call yourself that?
MAGA means Make America Great Again. But to the esoteric, it means something else, like I showed you before, in my opinion. Now, how does it make sense at all if Elon is talking about Make America Great Again? I am Dark, Make America Great Again. What does that even mean, guys? What does that? It doesn't make any sense. But if you view MAGA as the Latin witch, he is telling you he is the Dark Witch. He is the Dark Sorcerer. And that makes perfect sense when you see everything else going on with the symbolism. I mean, do you really just think this is all just a coincidence? I mean, nothing to see here at all.
Wow.
And in my personal opinion and speculation, it is all part of the show. It is part of the stage, and it is the darkness to light. Now, you can believe whatever you want, that's okay. And you can think I am absolutely crazy, which is fine. This is my personal opinion, speculation, entertainment purposes, whatever, right? But everything going on in the world, there's a purpose, okay? And we have a spiritual enemy, and they mock us openly. And we perish due to the lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. And there's so many believers, so many Christians who are so ignorant of what's going on behind the scenes, and it's blatant. But again, maybe it's all just a coincidence. Nothing to see here. He's a good guy. He wants to put the chip in the brain of individuals with the father of
I'm
the
good.
app. Yep, trust him. Go ahead and trust him. Let's see how that works out for you. I love you all so much, right? No matter what you think or believe, just keep your eyes focused upon the Lord and pray for discernment and wisdom. God bless, and remember, the just shall live by faith.
What do you guys think? What's up with Elon, man? Just look at his Twitter profile. Like, something's definitely up with him.
Just look at this thing, man.
He's like some sort of like dark lord or into some crazy stuff. Let me know.
I'm not gonna lie, this one might break the internet. Have you ever seen the United Nations building in Senegal, West Africa? The one that kinda looks like a hurricane? Or not only a hurricane, but a bunch of sixes, because we know how they like that number. Well, let's take a closer look at some things. Let's first look at this beautiful looking United Nations symbol that looks an awful lot like a flat Earth map. But then let's zoom out and let's see where that building has a direct path to. Oh, would you
Wow. Straight at us, huh?
coast of Florida, where a lot of hurricanes just happen to hit. But Hurricane Milton is coming from the west. So what's to the west? Oh, Australia? I wonder if they have any United Nations buildings in Australia. Oh, would you imagine that? Let's take a closer look at this United Nations building and complex and see what we find. Zooming in, and that's a funny
What is that?
symbol. It looked familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place where I saw that.
Wow, look at that. It's the exact same thing.
But I mean, so what? They have a symbol that kind of looks like something else. It's not like this UN building has some sort of crazy technology or spires or giant space needle looking things.
Yeah, what is that for, huh?
What in the world is that? Let's put a pyramid.
Like, what is that
under
for?
A giant needle that... I don't know. I'm not saying anything.
Messing with those hurricanes.
Simply showing you that look at that angle. Just happens to have something that Florida is about to experience. I'm not saying, I'm just showing. But of course, as usual, this is all for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that they just like the design of this building. And it isn't really sixes or even supposed to look like a hurricane. And that these anomalies that have been spotted by Cancun, which would be on the way from Australia, just happen to be coincidental as well. Also a coincidence. Duh. Entertainment only, people.
So wait, nobody finds this odd? We'll get into it in a minute, but we know that we can see the aurora tonight until like 2 or 3 in the morning, right? And here's your viewing line if you're wondering. Anyways, does nobody else find it odd that this aurora and this strongest solar flare, I believe ever maybe, comes right after the strongest storm that we have ever seen and the most devastation we have ever seen to Western North Carolina, Tennessee, etc.? Right after? Let me show you something else. And the strongest ever storm comes after we have been tracking this for months? Let's go a little bit further.
That's true.
Why don't you go ahead and read this thing behind my head from Pop Science, a science article. My bad for my MIA the last few days. I was on a mission trip to West Virginia, and I have an amazing lesson to tell you guys about it tomorrow. Did you read it? And all of a sudden, after everything I've showed you, we're having these lights pop out that we have never really seen in this part.
Yeah, definitely not down here ever before.
No, I'm just playing. I'm just throwing out.
Very strange.
Anyways, make sure you get some pictures of this aurora. This naturally occurring aurora. Seems to be the first for a lot of things, especially in 2024.
And that's the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next